games like that, and we've been involved in them before, not many times, but like I said, it was definitely two distinct halves, you know.
Right.
And the thing about it, the first half, the score didn't indicate really the type of half that it was as far as their stats, and we left here Friday night thinking it was pretty terrible, the second half. But looking at film, it wasn't that bad. I know we gave up more points, I guess, we have all year in one half.
Right.
Our injury situation had a lot to do with that on both sides of the ball, but it was two complete different ball games, and that's why you play 4 quarters, I guess. So.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about that injury situation, then we'll get into some of the other aspects of this coming week and the offense and defense later on. But tell us something about that. I know that's on the minds of everybody right now, the status of some of the players.
As far as those that we'll have back, I think we're going to be a little gimpy, but I think by Saturday we'll be 90–95% well for the most part. Of course, the most devastating blow, not only to our football team, but to him as a young man, was Courtney Bryant, who's anybody's watched us in the last 14 weeks knows what has meant certainly to our offensive unit. Did tear a ligament or potentially torn, and doctor's not 100. They're 95% sure. He's supposed to go back in the middle of the week for another examination, but he will definitely have to have surgery in the near future. But so that is a hole that you don't feel. You just try to kind of patch up the best we can. But several ankle problems, the worst after Jeff Haynes did a super job working all weekend with these guys and treating them, and Coach Crow and others. But Charlie Rocket looks like the worst ankle at this point. The next most serious question in our mind is Rashad Johnson, who on the I guess their last kickoff received a knee to his wrist here, and it's not real good. It's a thing that he could play with, certainly play defense with, but as far as catching the ball, handling the ball, we don't know how effective he would be there. But we don't know that it's cracked or fractured, but we'll find that out with the doctor's report. But the others are pretty well just banged up and should be well by the latter part of the week.
Well, we're certainly concerned about Courtney, and certainly a big loss as far as the team's concerned, and we certainly wish him the best as far as surgery and the knee recovery is concerned. Let's talk a little bit about the game Friday night. We came into a semifinal game, one of the, I think the second time only in history here that we've had a semifinal game of the state playoff in Prescott. An outstanding team from Clarksville came in. Tell us a little bit about the defense, especially as we faced an outstanding offensive team.
Well, they were certainly a very good offensive team. There's no two ways about that. But and I'm not taking anything away from Clarksville because they deserved it. You know, they won 4 or 5 ball games in the 4th quarter. Some of them in the playoffs, some of them in their conference rounds. Big key games there, so they were well accustomed to doing that. But when you start taking the quality of defensive players that we had out in the second half, and we helped them look good sometimes, you know. So they were good enough without any help from us. The other side of the coin, we didn't move the ball or weren't able to move the ball in the second half to eat more time off the clock or gain field position. When we did get something going, we penalized ourselves for foolish mistakes. But here again, they were very, very impressive. In our opinion, probably the best offensive team, you know, and I know some people are going to question, well, isn't Nashville? They were in the passing game, Nashville I'm talking about, but as far as a total offensive team, I thought, or we all thought, that Clarksville was the best we played. Their offensive line was better than we give them credit for. Their passing game was not equal to Nashville's, but it's right up there with it, and they had a strong running game, as everyone found out. So, yes, they were the best team we played at this point. Probably barring Hope, they were very comparable to Hope to me way back earlier. You know, Hope was a very good football team at that time, and it reminded me a lot of Hope. You know,
I know we had a terrific time stopping that fullback as they put on that left side of their line, and they really moved the ball.
Well, here again we've had moved a linebacker out to adjust to the formation to our deep left. and they were running back where there was one linebacker, and the 6'6" tight end was coming off untouched and getting the wall off the linebacker, so that we helped them look good. Now, when we did bear down and get toe to toe, they were able to whip us at times with some of the injury guys out, but we helped them look pretty good, but they were a good football team.
Yeah, no question about it. And I noticed they brought a huge contingent of fans. The stands were filled on that side.
I had been to a playoff game earlier, a few years back, scouting for Girton, several years back, and I was impressed with the crowd support, and it looked like a football school. You know.
Our crowd support was excellent as well.
Now, being on the sideline in that kind of battle, you don't pay that much attention. I know there was a lot of noise.
The stands were packed, and people standing around the fence, and it was probably the largest attendance that we've had at a game this year.
I was told that. Like I said, you could sense or feel the electricity in the air and the crowd, but we as coaches don't pay a lot of attention to it as far as numbers.
Excuse me. Give me some of our players that did well on defense.
Well, of course, we're here again, kind of getting back. Now, I don't want to belabor the point about injuries. We started the game without Carlos Van Hook. Carlos, what we call the wolf or weak side linebacker, is more of a pass defense and a runner type on the wide plays. Brian, who did start the game, played with a banged up shoulder. We didn't make much publicity about that, but he did a great job playing with a bad shoulder. Courtney Bryant was doing a great job for us defensively. Of course, John Cornelius batted down some key balls there, and of course, Sam Marlowe, kind of the story of the game, I guess you might say, especially the first half. And then C.D. Flemings came on and kind of was the story of our defensive game the second half. We didn't have any offensive stats to speak of, but I thought Barrett Yates once again took control and ran the offense very well and did a couple of things late in the game, his punts and then sweeps with a quarterback sweep just to, kind of preserve the win, so to speak. So, it was hard to grade or evaluate our offensive line and defensive line because they were coming in and out with so many injuries at times. But
it was a very physical game, probably the most physical game we've played all year.
Just like Courtney's injury was not a situation someone just get a devastating blow on his leg. It was more of a freak thing where he made a cut and his ankle gave out or gave way and knee went the other way, I guess. And Kyron was injured on a PAT wall blocking just where somebody rolled up on him, and those type things, and they just all seemed to happen at once.
Right. We'll be back in just a moment to talk some more about the offensive production and some of the things coming up for this coming weekend.
Hope Auto Company has the 3 qualities necessary for a great car or truck deal. First, you need a good product, and Hope Auto Company has quality cars and trucks from Ford and Chrysler. Second, you need quality sales staff, and Hope Auto Company has 5 carry men ready to assist you in any selection. Third, you need easy financing, and again, it's Hope Auto Company that has 6 different sources of credit to choose from. For the best car deal, come to Hope Auto Company, Highway 4 and I-30.
Welcome to Studio Floor and Wall Decor, 500 South Walnut Street in Hope, Arkansas. We'd like to think of ourselves as the floor store of Southwest Arkansas, covering all your floor covering needs. Carpet, vinyl, tile, wood, for residential and commercial. No job is too small, from a 5x5 bathroom to a commercial job of 30,000 square foot building. We can meet all your floor covering needs. For all your floor covering needs, come to see us at Studio Floor and Wall Decor, 500 South Walnut Street in Hope, Arkansas.
Just checking. Doesn't it make sense to have a checking account designed just for you? First National Bank of Hope has accounts to fit your needs. If you want to draw interest, we have it. You want a package checking with personalized checks? We have it. Basic, no frills checking? We have it. And come to our downtown location, 2nd and Walnut Streets. We want to tell you about how we try just a little harder. First National Bank of Hope, a century of commitment continues. Member FDIC.
I'm Greg Martin with Martin's Footnotes and Fashions, and we'd like to invite you to shop with us this Christmas season. all of the young people love athletic wear, and we've got the brands such as Starter, Nike, Reebok, and Fila. We carry the athletic jackets. We also carry caps, socks, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and warm-ups. We also carry about 3,000 pairs of athletic shoes. We carry such featured shoes as the Grant Hill, the Jordan, the Hardaway, and we also carry the Michael Jordans. We also carry clothing that's non-athletic, such as Levi's and other brands of jeans, plus tops. And we'll see you here at Martin's Footnotes and Fashions, where we're open till 8 p.m. through Christmas.
Well, Coach, you talked a little bit a moment ago about the offense. Let's zero in on this a little bit more. We're going to have to make a lot of adjustments now. We can't replace Courtney Bryant. There's no way about that. But we've got some other guys that can step in there and do a credible job.
Well, all of our running backs from Courtney down, I mean, without Courtney, of course, they're underclassmen, and our full JV schedule that we try so hard to keep up all during the regular season may be a key factor, certainly in this ball game. The fact that we've developed a little depth, you know, in some of the games that we were not routes but got a lead, I guess you'd say, and enabled some people to play. But Friday night with Carlos Van Hook out, Sam Marlowe with a bad ankle, went back to Montre Montgomery at fullback, and whatever button he pushed Friday afternoon worked. So he really stepped up and did a creditable job. You know, he made some runs that were in pass, maybe in 4-yard run, he turned them into 8-yard runs and those type things. So there's lots of hidden yardage in offensive stats that we will have to bear down and find that we didn't have or didn't need with Courtney. You know, he may break a 15-yard run where a sophomore tailback may make it a 5-yard run. So it's going to be, you know, we're not, like I say, we're not going to replace him, certainly. We're just going to have to readjust and kind of readjust our thinking somewhat. Montre at fullback, we think that Sam will be able, with another week's work and rehab and so forth on his ankle, he on paper would be listed as our number 2 tailback. Of course, Al stepped in there and did a great job. You hated to gamble too much because he's the backup quarterback in case something happened to Barrett. But Al's got some experience at running back. So Carlos Van Hook will certainly be back and was our number 1 fullback for most of the part of the year. So, like I say, we got several guys to fill one spot. You know.
Right. I know it's going to be probably a little change in game plan here, as you've inferred, as we've been talking about as far as coming up Saturday.
Well, we think, you know, we're sitting down tonight and working on that after our Booster Club meeting, and just right off the top of our head, we know we've got to get the ball to C.D. Fleming, you know, tight end, whether it's reverse, screen, deep pass, whatever. We don't know the status of Rashad Johnson, but as people have seen him play, if it's anywhere near him, if it's one hand or one tape on a cast on one hand, he's going to get to it. John Cornelius is coming on catching some balls. Channing Butler's catching some balls. Those things that Nashville weren't aware of or wasn't a big part of our offense when we did play them. So we're not, you know, the well's not dry. We just got to readjust our thinking quite a bit.
Give me again some of the names of the players, offensive players you thought did well last Friday night.
Well, again, of course, Montre Montgomery came in, and then certainly Al the second half. Of course, I think Courtney had 70 or 80 yards and 7 or 8 carries. So you never know. You know, if the injury didn't happen, their defense I thought was a little suspect, and we threw the ball deep on him. He was running great. We were doing a pretty good job. So, you know, if the injury don't happen and we go out third quarter and score 2 more, you know, it may become a rout. But I don't think it would have. They were a good football team. But Montre, Courtney, I thought Barrett, you know, came on. He did some things late in the game, option played, keeping it himself, and certainly that, you know, like I said, our line play was, we had to rotate so much. You know, we had sophomores going in just to fill in some spots there in time, you know. But
I was even impressed with a 9th grader that went in and made a touchdown. Jared Yates came in. Just
kind of an impulse thing. Of course, it's 4th and about 1 foot, 1.5, whatever, and we've seen him do it blocking, we've seen him do it in Monday night games, seen him do it in practice, and our line got a good surge back, and he's big enough to carry it in, you know.
Right.
And here
And
again,
don't you know that was a big thrill for a ninth grader in a
well,
semifinal state playoff game?
It's got to be unbelievable. Then we turned around and have some ninth graders on kickoff return in a crucial time. One of the things we'll be pointing out to them all this week, you know, when you play 15 games, you're not a sophomore anymore, you're half a junior, so these guys are not, you know, they're not wet behind the ears now.
Right.
Even some of our ninth graders.
Right. I thought they did a great job in offense last Friday night. We'll be back in just a moment to talk about the upcoming game, the state final game at War Memorial Stadium against Nashville in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence with Lawrence Window and Siding Company over in Prescott, and we're over here at Mr. Neelis's house here in Hope on Hervey Street. We built on the back of our house. There was a window right here we took out and put in this steel metal entrance doors, and we put a handrail here, built her steps, and then we built this nice classroom. And she uses this for plants, to keep her plants from freezing, and a garden room, I guess you could say, and also she's got a sitting area over here. Give us a call for free estimates at 1-800-446-8011, or if you're local in Prescott, 887-6611. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dudley from Pet World at Nashville. Pet World has a large selection of reptiles, from sandfish to boas to green iguanas. Pet World also has a large selection of birds, from lady ghouls to hand-fed cockatiels to talking parrots and everything in between. We have 22 different sizes and shapes of fish aquariums to choose from, including the low-maintenance saltwater aquarium and fish from black ghosts to seahorses. We have small animals, from baby hedgehogs to hamsters to baby ferrets. Oh yes, we have Persian kittens and cute and cuddly puppies. Your Christmas shopping won't be complete until you visit Pet World in Nashville, where the selection is great and the price is always right. That's Pet World at Nashville, Arkansas.
I'm Earl Foster, President of Operation Breadbasket. These are members of the Board of Directors. We are appealing to you for your support with coats, blankets, food. If you have a good coat or blanket you would like to donate to the needy, then bring it to the old Sears building or call 887-5361.
Well, Coach, coming into this weekend, Saturday afternoon, 1:30, War Memorial Stadium, two teams out of the 7AA conference. Has that ever happened in the history of the state playoffs? Two teams on the same conference?
Yes, sir. Fort Smith North Side and South Side have played, and well, Malvern won it, 2 years ago with Madre Hill. There was Lake Hamilton, and they had played each other, and it's the same.
But it's rare.
It's rare, certainly. Not for 7 or AA, it has never happened. But someone was talking last week about the possible rematch, but quite honestly, I really didn't think it would happen. But here again, I didn't know a lot about Dollaway other than the tradition, and when you say Dollaway, what they've done, you know. But I did make a comment several times. I thought it would be great for 7AA because we've been, you know, in coaches' meetings and all different places for years trying to tell people how tough 7AA is, and I think this year certainly bears that out. And Fordyce winning it a couple of years back, you know, so it's just an ongoing thing on how tough this conference is. But the one thing I guess you'd say on the downside of it is, I know the coach from Northside had an article in the paper last week, or maybe a week before, where they were playing a team that had already beaten them. The advantage hangs with that, and we've been in that situation, I know, because I know from experience, hangs with a team that's on the underdog, so to speak. Right. You know, if we were in the same situation, if we lost to Nashville, and the only game we lost, and kept, you know, gives you that driving force, you know, you want to beat Nashville, we got to go win this game, and I know that's been their battle cry, I guess you say, all along. But like Coach Young said, there's really no logical explanation for it, you know, except the fact that two good, equally matched teams, which we were back in the 29th of September, and still are 9 weeks later, barring injuries and those type of things. And I'm sure they've been banged up a little bit, but so we're still going to take the field. It's going to do it in a bigger stadium, bigger crowd, and a lot more at stake than it was back in September.
Well, we know at this point, and I certainly want to congratulate you and the team as a whole, because this is a great honor to get to go to War Memorial. Regardless of the outcome Saturday, we plan on the Curly Wolves winning, but regardless of the outcome, it's a great honor to have gotten this far.
Well, it certainly is. You know, we try to harp on the fact we haven't won the last football game of the season in a long time. I guess it would be 20 years ago this year. In '75, we've been there in the finals since then, but to win that last one, you know, it just kind of caps off the year. I know if something happens and the scoreboard's not in our favor, it might take a week or two to kind of look back and, you know, reflect on back what has happened, because when you look at it from last year, the fact we're still a young football team and lots of things that have happened on and off the field many times, it is more or less a miracle to be here, but we're going up to try to win the game. If we don't, then so be it. You know?
Absolutely. I know these boys will want more than anything else to bring home that championship trophy, and they're not going up to lay down and let someone win the game. We want to encourage everyone that's watching to be sure and come to War Memorial Stadium at 1:30 Saturday afternoon. If you can't, it'll be on CCT at a later time, and you can watch the game there. Coach, it's been great having you with us. Any closing comments you want to make prior to this game for the fans?
Well, other than the fact that like I said earlier, coaches we don't notice who's there, but players certainly do, and the fans always make the difference. You know, to be a successful football program, I've said it many times, you got to have facilities. We have that. You got to have players. Those are going to come. You know, it may be a 10-year cycle, but they're going to come around. And the key thing you got to have is certainly fans, and we've had that. Just like any place, they like to win and don't like it when you lose, but we certainly appreciate the support. And once again, of the CCT and our radio programs and all the publicity. Anytime a young man that puts out the effort it takes to play high school football, he needs all the publicity he can get. And you hear comments all the time about, I saw this on Channel 13. You know? And it helps us from a coaching standpoint, because players get to look at themselves and evaluate your program I'm talking about, or replays, 2 or 3 times if they want to before we see them on Monday. So, but to the fans, we certainly want to say a big thanks, and we got the team there, and we expect the fans to be there, and it ought to be some afternoon, Saturday afternoon.
Well, I think it will. We hope that the weather's good for that particular game. It has been. We've been very blessed this fall with the weather condition. I hope it continues that way. And we certainly encourage you to be sure. And the Clarksville Panthers, an outstanding group of seniors behind me that we're going to introduce to you in just a moment. They've had an outstanding year. They've done a great job in football this year, and certainly it is a tremendous honor for them to be here in the semifinals of the state playoff in Prescott. I think there's only one other time that this has happened in Prescott history, as far as I know, and a very unusual occurrence for a semifinal game to be played here, and these boys have done a tremendous job in making it possible for you. I'm going to let them introduce themselves again to you, tell you the position they play, and then they'll go on into their pregame warm-ups.
My name is Bray Thager, play left offensive tackle.
John Cornelius, free safety wide receiver.
Barrett Yates, quarterback.
Charlie Rocket, defensive tackle.
Matt Wingfield, defensive end.
Courtney Bryant, tailback and linebacker.
Brent Duke, center and left offensive guard.
Stan Colger, nose guard.
Jason Colger, play right guard.
Larry Henderson, defensive end.
Jerome Folks, wide receiver.
All right, there's a seniors for the 1995 Prescott Curly Wolves, and they've had an outstanding season, Jim.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited about that. I don't know if I've been excited more than they have or not, but I've been ready for this game all week long. This is the state semifinals, and it's their last home game, last chance for the fans to see them here this year, and they're going to be playing against a great offensive team. I think tonight Prescott is, in my mind, better on defense. I think we're going to see
a good offense against a very tough defense. And hopefully if Prescott doesn't make any foolish mistakes, I do think they're better in the kicking game. And Prescott's got a good chance tonight to go ahead and go on all the way to the state finals.
Well, Gary, thinking about this as the semifinal game of the state playoffs here, they've done a great job. It's a great honor for them to be here.
Oh, yeah, like you said a while ago, it's just a privilege to get this far. And I'm kind of like Jim. My stomach's kind of had that old rolly feeling all day, nervousness, and I'm sure it's nothing compared to what maybe the coaching staff and them have to go through. But I'm looking forward to this game. We're going to see an offense from Clarksville that runs and passes the ball about equally, and that's going to give our defense, I think, maybe early in the game a little getting used to, but usually after a couple of series we settle down and get a little bit familiar with what's going on. But I think the key tonight in my mind might be the play of Courtney Bryant. You know, we didn't use him much last week, so he's very rested, and I look for Courtney maybe to run the ball quite a bit tonight, and I think that might be the key for us getting a victory tonight.
We do have a couple of players out with chicken pox. Even chicken pox can take advantage of a state semifinal game. Injuries are in good shape now. I think all those that are injured are back, be playing tonight. People have stopped me all over town this week, Jim, talking about this game coming up and how excited the town is, how excited the people are. And we'll see in just a few moments how the Prescott Curly Wolves match up with the Clarksville Panthers. So we'll also be covering some of the helicopters going to be here from Channel 4. You can see some of the crowd as they're coming in at this particular moment. It's still early. The crowd's gathering. The gate is filled with people at the back coming in. Cheerleaders are really excited about this game. We're looking forward to a great game tonight, and glad you're with us. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
At Williams Furniture and Delight, we want you to be relaxed during football season. We have a large selection of name brand recliners like FlexSteel in stock and ready for delivery. Whether it's leather, suede, or most any type of covering, we have it in stock in a variety of colors. And with our low overhead, layaway plans, financing available, and free delivery, there's no reason you should not be enjoying the best tonight.
Just in time for football season. Drive a little and save a lot on a FlexSteel recliner at Williams Furniture and Delight.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence with Lawrence Window and Siding Company from over at Prescott, and we're over here at the King's home here on 15th Street in Hope, and we just got finished, matter of fact, today with this house, and we went with a cream siding. And what we done is we done all the soffit and fascia on it. We wrapped the post. We put new storm windows, bronze with bronze glass on their windows to help with their heating and air. So give us a call for all your siding and window needs or any home improvement needs you may have at 1-800-446-8011, or if you're in Prescott, 887-6611. Thank you.
We're joining the Prescott Curly Wolf Band now with the national anthem and the respective alma maters to follow immediately. Okay, the schools participating in this football playoff game are members of the Arkansas Athletic Activities Association as authorized by their respective school boards. The administrators of these schools have helped to write the rules and the regulations that govern participation of students in competitive activities